Did you leave that dinner party and say, you know, all of us have jobs? Well, three of you, right?
Yes.
Three of you, all from PayPal.
That's correct. Correct, yeah.
Did you walk out of that dinner party saying, there's a business here, there's a company here?
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. And the cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool.
Imagine you started a company today and later you sold it for $1.65 billion. That sounds pretty good, right? But what if I told you that it only took you less than 2 years to sell that company? That's the story of YouTube, one of the biggest business success in the history of digital era. Aside from all the fame and money the company got in such a short amount of time, there are some lessons in this story which can be applied to your business, startup or your life, and I got very fascinated while researching about it. So let's dive into it and look for the lessons in it and see if you find out how much you actually know about the history of YouTube. Chad Hurley, a student of Indiana University of Pennsylvania, has received a degree of fine arts. And now he's working at PayPal, responsible for designing the logo of the company. There he met two other co-workers, Steve Chen and Javed Karim. Both of them had graduated from University of Illinois with a computer science degree and were the typical hardcore coders. Later these three became good friends. Now there are two stories about how they came up with the idea of YouTube. On January 2005, in a dinner party at Steve Chen's house, Steve and Chad noticed a problem which led to this idea.
It happened in January of 2005. It was up in my place in the city in San Francisco. And we were having a dinner party and people had digital cameras there and we were taking normal digital photos as well as movies. And when we tried to share the photos, we found it very easy to share the photos with one another. But when we tried to share the movies, we tried to email it back, but it just kept getting rejected, bounced back. We tried to upload and people have different video types, video codecs that you have to download, different software. So we sort of took a look at, with all the digital cameras now, with phones being able to take movies, that this was going to be more and more of a problem for other people. And we try to make and simplify this process to make it as easy as possible to share these videos online.
They both realized this as a problem for future, and this gave them the idea of creating something that would solve the problem for everyone. And another story goes like this. At that time, the incident of Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson dress malfunction at the Super Bowl halftime went viral, and Javed Karim wanted to watch it but couldn't find it anywhere on the internet as it was banned. And he also wanted to watch the video of Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004. This frustration gave him the idea of creating a platform where people could find any kind of video to watch. Immediately after that, Steve, Javed and Chad started working on a site, but it wasn't the actual YouTube it is today. They were working on a dating site. Steve said this about it. We always thought there was something with video there, but what would be the actual practical application? We thought dating would be the obvious choice. And on Valentine's Day, 14th Feb 2005, Hurley registers the trademark, logo and domain for YouTube and started the site. But guess what? It didn't got any interest from the users. They even paid women $20 to upload videos of themselves on YouTube, but nobody came forward. This feedback from the market led them to make a pivot, which would change the entire journey for them. Okay, forget the dating aspect, let's just open it up to any video, Steve Chen said. Then on April 2005, they transformed YouTube into a free video hosting platform for everyone. This single decision proved to be the most crucial one for Chad, Steve and Javed. On 23rd April 2005, YouTube's first video was uploaded, Me at the Zoo by Javed Karim. Fast forward to September 2005. Sequoia partner Roelof Botha, who worked at PayPal with the co-founders, learns about YouTube after using it to upload his old wedding videos, which convinces him to invest in it, resulting the lauded investment firm Sequoia Capital investing $3.5 million in YouTube's Series A round. So what did actually YouTube did for the audience? First, the viewer had free content to watch at whatever time they wanted to and didn't have to be dependent on television or the traditional media. And second, the most underrated one, it gave a control to the viewer to provide feedback for the content they watched. Now the viewer could like, dislike or comment on the video, and it also built a connection between the creator and the consumer. And for the creator, the problem solved was, it created an instant feedback loop to improve their content in future. And another, it provided a large number of audience and gave the stage to perform for the independent creators. And by December 2005, YouTube was getting 8 million views per day. Then on Feb 2006, after seeing the potential of where YouTube was heading, Sequoia Capital again invested $8 million in YouTube, which summed the total investment to $11.5 million. Around this time, Javed Karim left YouTube to study at Stanford University. Later that month, YouTube got its first big hit. Nike uploaded a video of an ad which showed the Brazilian soccer player Ronaldinho receiving his pair of golden boots, and the video went viral, getting YouTube its first 1 million views. This showed the potential of YouTube's marketing and virality power in the market. Another hit came when a random person uploaded an NBC Saturday Night Live sketch, Lazy Sunday, and it attracted millions of views on the platform. But this was a copyright infringement which led to YouTube's verification program for creators to identify the videos for the infringement of copyright and gets them removed. The same incident later led to YouTube's and NBC's deal in future, which was the beginning of the traditional media entering into the digital media. Around this time, YouTube became a place for homemade viral videos. The video qualities were low, no script or structure of video, but this is what made YouTube unique at that time. By 2006, YouTube was getting 100 million views per day. Now, around the time of April 2006, someone from the acquisition department of Google saw the potential of user-generated content, and she was Suzanne Wojcicki, the current CEO of YouTube, and was convinced to invest in it and buy YouTube. But Google wasn't alone in this race. Other three companies were Microsoft, Yahoo, and News Corporation. Finally, on November 2006, Google acquired YouTube for $1.65 billion, and it only had 64 employees at that time.
Hi YouTube, this is Chad and Steve. We're the co-founders of the site, and we just want to say thank you. Today we have some exciting news for you. We've been acquired by Google.
Everyone got huge paychecks. Chad Hurley, then CEO, made $345 million, Steve Chen made $326 million, and because of lower stake in the company, Javed Karim received over $64 million. Sequoia Capital, the venture firm that provided most of YouTube's $11.5 million in backing, made about $495 million. It is said that people were speculating YouTube would soon be out of business because of its non-profitability at that time. At the time of the deal, billionaire Mark Cuban was outspoken on this, stating only a moron would buy YouTube. But now you may think, why would Google invest such crazy amount of money in a non-profit company? Google had its own video platform called Google Video. The quality of videos uploaded there was a lot better than YouTube, but YouTube had more views than it, and it didn't got good response from the market. Why did that happen, do you ask? The point here was that Google introduced a proprietary file type and player, drastically increasing the amount of stuff you had to do in order to create or enjoy content on the site. Sometimes this works, but it's not a great strategy when you have started a fight with a perfectly usable site like YouTube, and its popularity has already made it the standard at that time. This is what Chad Hurley was talking about in this interview about the simplification of the process for the users.
And touching on our experience at PayPal, we saw the power of simplifying a process and giving everyone a solution. So in that case, being early employees there, we did that for payments, and we saw the same opportunity here in the video space.
Now, Google had expanded themselves to the video side of the internet where they were having trouble before. Before the deal, YouTube didn't have the necessary infrastructure to make profits from the views they were getting and couldn't monetize the audience. But Google already had a set infrastructure for this problem, as Google generated its revenue from ads shown to the audience, and this is exactly what YouTube needed. And later on, Google used its resources to navigate and tackle the issues of copyright infringement for YouTube. So this is how, with the leverage of Google, YouTube has become what it is today. Today, YouTube brings 2 billion active users a month. According to the 2020 stats, YouTube's total revenue was $19.7 billion. It is the second most used social media platform in the world. Creators are building million-dollar businesses through YouTube. Today, from news, music, comedy, TV shows, educational content to people showing their daily lives, everything is on YouTube. Every success leaves some lessons. These were from YouTube's. There would have been many people who noticed the problem of not being able to share the videos, but Steve, Javed and Chad saw the opportunity and executed on it relentlessly. I personally don't think that there is such thing as being lucky. It's all about who executes on the right time and grabs the opportunity. At the beginning, when the dating site didn't got good response, Steve, Javed and Chad would have ignored the feedback of the audience and wouldn't have considered to pivot to converting it to a free video hosting site for everyone. But this one decision changed the whole direction for them. So whenever faced with a decision to pivot in life or career, it's okay to consider doing it. The biggest reason that YouTube succeeded is because it simplified the process for the users, which other platforms couldn't do. It was all about making the product simpler to use. I hope you learned something from this and enjoyed this video. And if you did, give it a like or thumbs up or whatever you say for the algorithm so that more people can watch this video, and comment what are your views about this topic. I have some amazing projects planned for the future on this channel. which I'm working on right now. So you can subscribe the channel for future videos of this kind of editing and style. Have an amazing day. See you next time. Bye.